Somebody's bleach blonde, bad built butch body. Somebody's bleach blonde, bad built butch body. Somebody's bleach blonde, bad built butch body.
What's going on, everybody? You in the building with the all knowing, all loving, all feeling, all seeing, all powerful. Just damn all everything sexy as hell host of this channel. That is me, Lamont Tyson. Welcome to the politics of being black. And there has never been a week where someone needs to explain the politics of living in America while being black. That's what I am here for, and we're going to do that. This is my live show. This is, I want to say, the flagship show. It's growing to be that, and we're going to get there soon. And today we're going to cover some of the five great progressive black males you should follow on social media. People that you see that I reference on this channel often. We're going to give them, I'm calling this Progressive Black Male Mixtape Volume 1. The biggest news of the week is all these Southern Confederate states coming out. I mean, literally the ink ain't even dry from the voters' rights shit that the Supreme Court did. And you've got these Southern states pulling their draws down, showing you that they panty draws is Confederate lace. We've got that. We've got Stephen A. Suck on the Toe Smith. What else can I say? We've got that. And then, ladies and gentlemen, we've also got some good words from one of my favorite comedians. All that and so much more. We get started on my channel right now.
I'm up early for the dealers come out. Everybody is outside till the killers come out. You ain't eating, you just act full. I'm impactful. Dozen funerals in a month. I got that full. I will give it to niggas in all rap forms. Ignatius out right now on all platforms.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, let's get to it. I'm going to go ahead and give you 5 great mixtape progressive black men you should be following on social media. Some of these black males, ladies and gentlemen, you don't know them for their social justice and their leanings in progressive politics. You don't know them for that. You know them for maybe comedy, singing, and one other guy is pretty good in doing commentary on sports. But I'm going to give it to you in the raw. This video, folks, is sponsored by none other than, guess who? Me. If you want to see me trade stocks every day at 9:30, come check me out. I'm unabridged. I'm at that point in my stock career where things are starting to take off. I'm being profitable. And if you like my system, when you come check me out, you can get a one-on-one with me right here. The first man in my lineup of progressive males you should be following on social media is none other than this brother right here, Eric fucking Benet. Now, I have a love-hate relationship with Eric Benet. I love him. Don't get me wrong, because of his stances, his progressiveness, but I hate his ass because he can sing. This fucker could probably sing the draws off your wife. He could probably sing the panty draws off you guys' mothers who y'all are going to be celebrating Mother's Day tomorrow. He could do that. Now, here's the thing about all these men. The difference between them and Republican men. Republican men want you to think that their asses is tough. If they were so tough, why do they keep trying to block the rights of women? These men on this list, they believe in uplifting women because women are not a threat to them. These men on this list don't have to run around telling you they are a man's man because they just exude it. These men on this list all believe in apologizing. So let's get to Eric Benet and things he does on social media as we go through Black Progressive Male Mixtape, Volume 1.
Listen, of all the visual metaphors of cosmic irony, nothing beats the fact that whenever Donald Trump speaks, whatever he's saying, his mouth just naturally settles into the shape of a busted out asshole. It's so perfect.
Ladies and gentlemen, you've got to check out my man Eric Benet. This dude, not only can he sing, so he's never going to be around me and any of my women, but he's funny as hell. And he believes in his heart that things should be equal for everybody. He believes in his heart women should have the right to choose. He believes in his heart that racism shouldn't be a thing. And I want you guys to go check out my man, Eric Benet. His link and all the other men's link will be in the video description. Ladies, I haven't forgotten about y'all. There will be a volume 2 mixtape of progressive women because you all let men not make no mistake. The most educated group of people in America are black women. And guess what? Those black women turned out more for the Democratic Party than any other group. They paved the way, you dumbasses in America, because if education showed you where to vote and you didn't go that way, problems with you. Number 2 on my list of black progressive males you should be following. And if you are a LeBron fan that's not objective, stay away from this guy's sports channel. But if you are a LeBron fan that is objective and you understand the plight African Americans are suffering in this country, you need to go check out my man Charles Tobasi. I've been saying Tobasi, like go ski in Park City, Utah, but it's Tobasi. He puts out great videos, folks. And when I say great videos, it's nothing exciting about him. But what is good about him is, number one, he's got a damn New York accent. Now, I know my accent is Southern and shit, and I don't give a damn. And he doesn't give a damn what y'all think about his accent. His videos are so to the point, so factual, so impassioned that you can't help but not watch his sports commentary that he does on his sports channel, which is a little bigger than his political channel. But both are great. Give him a shot. Here is what he contributed to the mixtape of black progressive men. Take a look.
And now we find ourselves in a situation where you have a regime that is actively working against the best interests of minorities in the United States. That is why I was so confounded when you had Latinos for Trump, these black MAGAs voting for. I really couldn't understand it. And if you listen to some of their reasoning at the time, you'd be like, what kind of cockamamie nonsense is this? Seriously. You had some blacks talking about, you remember, the Democrats are not doing anything for us, so therefore we're going to vote the Republicans. And I said to myself, what did the Republicans promise you? What did they promise you? Let me ask you, since Trump has been in office, what are the good things he's done? How has the black agenda moved forward? Black women unemployment has actually gone up under Trump. It's gone up. But we don't want to talk about that. We don't want to talk about how they have gone out of their way to target minorities.
Oh, I forgot to mention that to y'all. The most educated group of people in America have also become some of the highest unemployed. Make that make sense. Shout out to Charles Tobasi. He puts out great stuff. You guys need to definitely be following him. Now we're starting to get into the comedians on my list. Now, what you need to know about the comedians on the list, fascist regimes always go after comedians because comedians have a way of making things funny to get people to open their eyes to see how they've been blinded by society. Now, one of the cornerstones of this channel of mine is debunking the societal myths that have been put in place by white MAGA Republicans from the inception of this country. Breaking that shit. How it's a hypocrisy and a double standard for them that they don't want you to know. That's one of the cornerstones of this channel, along with social justice and showing you guys how capitalism has become corrupted because the guardrails have been dropped. This next brother on my list is funny as hell. And hell, he's a little darker skinned than me. And so for that, I hate him because I love my dark skin. I'm talking about the good brother comedian Godfrey, ladies and gentlemen. He puts out quality stuff. Let's take a look at him on this mixtape of black progressive males you should be following.
Meanwhile, back at racism headquarters, so there's this dude named Chud the Builder, right? He has a mustache, cowboy hat, and he records himself, and he goes around calling black people and shit, like, you know, and he always says, stop chimping out. He just decides to go on this rant because he goes by the free speech thing. Like, it's free speech. So he goes around. The first time he did it, it was talking to these black journalists, and he was going, what's up, you huh? Look at him chimping out. Fucking monkeys. Ooga booga. Ooga. He was doing all the racial slur. He's like a 70s bully, racist bully, using old, hey, ooga booga, that dumb shit. He was doing hacky shit. And so you know, he walks around, you know, trapping black people into talking to him, and he calls them niggas and all. Well, there was a situation. He picks certain people to call that to say that to. But when he was in front of a club and there was a bouncer, he called the dude a nigger while he was walking away. He didn't say it to his face because the black dude was like, yo, you got one more time to keep standing here right now. And he goes away and calls him when he walked away, though. You know, a lot of racist people that practice this, they usually talk when they feel they can beat a particular person because the right black dude is going to meet him one day, for real. And I think also that he keeps like mace or a gun on him because for somebody to be doing that and nobody's beat him the down yet, it's something's going on. And go, oh, he has mace, and so he goes around trolling black people because, you know, that's what's bugging him. He has, you know.
Godfrey is funny as hell, and he breaks down. He does something like this. He also does something like the racism files, and then he's got a few other he does. You need to follow him. But to his point about white dudes, here's another thing that separates progressive men from these white males that want you to think they're so fucking tough. These white men that behave like this guy he's talking about, they will never encounter or create conflict for black people unless they have an advantage. They've got to have a gun when you come with a pen. It's got to be 6 of them to 1.5 black dudes in order for them to get into chaos. Because deep down on the inside, they're pussies. They want you to think they're men's, but they're not. Anybody who feels like they need to have legislation to put women in their place does not believe that they're real men. And that's most of these white dudes running around here pretending like they're tough. They got to run around with a gun. You so fucking tough, why you need a gun? You got to run around with mace. You so damn tough, why you running around with mace? And the mantra of someone who's of peace, who is self-confident, they're not running around trying to pick fights. They're not running around trying to troll people in person, calling them niggers, calling them crackers, whatever you want to call them, rednecks. They're not doing that. And Godfrey does a good job of finding these stories and making them funny. So go check out Godfrey. He's on the list. Now, the person I saved last on my list is an OG in the game. And he's been on social justice since before we had social media. Hell, since probably before me and everybody on this list was a zygote in our daddy's penis. He's been doing it so long. But we'll get to him in a minute. The next person on my list, ladies and gentlemen, y'all always refer to this guy as DL the legend, but it's really this brother right here, DL Hughley, ladies and gentlemen, one of the kings of comedy, foremost one of the kings of comedy, legend in his own right, living legend at that. And he has been on his social justice from day one too. He's damn near like the last guy on my list, but he does a show called Uncertain where he not only displays his abilities in comedy, but he also displays his ability as a historian, as someone who didn't get formal education. Here's a clip from his show, folks. Remember, everybody's link is in the description. This is DL on the mixtape.
They suss out selfish niggas like pigs pick truffles. You could talk about the Boyce Watkins, the Dr. Umars, you could talk about or the Charlemagne's, but earlier in the 60s and 70s, they used the Jim Browns, the Sammy Davis Jr., they used those people. Look at what happened as a result. Nixon had a cadre of people like that. What happened to black people? It was the war on drugs. When Reagan used black people, what happened to them? They became the symbol for welfare. You didn't have the foresight to know this man would be detrimental to us. I don't respect anything else you have to say.
You can't blame Stevie Wonder for not seeing it coming.
No.
You know what?
He already won't let me on the radio here, so I ain't gonna help.
God rest the God. Well, you can't blame Ray Charles either, ladies and gentlemen. God rest his soul. And to my boy DL, folks, the measure of a real man, hell, the measure of any real human being is when you fuck up, being able to apologize and be sincere about it. DL has some comments about Kamala Harris because he didn't know her as well as he should. And if you took his comments the wrong way, you would think that he was trying to tell you not to vote for Kamala. He goes to the DNC, does a speech in front of millions of people. And you know what he did in front of those millions of people? He admitted where he was wrong and he apologized. How often do you hear MAGA men do that? If you're not apologizing as a man for shit you done wrong and you know you done wrong, you're not a real man. You're not a real human being. You're a punk. You're a pussy. You're in aisle number 7, the Piggly Wiggly, Ready Whip. You have no business commenting or being involved in policy. Because if you can't discern to say sorry, why are we letting you take process and making life decisions with policy for other people? So shout out to this guy, DL Hughley, man. Love this brother. You'll see me stitch all these guys in my videos all the time. There are links in description. Last, ladies and gentlemen, on the Black Progressive Male mixtape, he's last, but he's definitely not least. My big brother, Country Row, so you know, Roland Martin, ladies and gentlemen. He's been rolling with social justice, trying to help those self-hating white people that vote against their own interests on a day-to-day basis just because they don't want to see minorities and women. Hell, I don't even want to say get ahead of them. Just catch up with them. They are so self-hating that they would rather be in a house with them and minorities, see the house burn up, and their asses get burnt too, just to ensure minorities don't even get to have the same comforts they have. And trust me, we don't want the comforts of getting our asses burnt up in the house with y'all. But he's been fighting for them anyway. So here he is on the mixtape, my big brother, Roland Martin, country boy, just like me. Take a look at Roro.
I'm telling you, I have been saying to black people, this is a declaration of war. What we should see is the largest black voter mobilization effort since the Voting Rights Act was passed in 1965, as well as since the presidential election of Obama in 2008. The only way to battle this, the only way to beat them is to destroy them, crush them at the ballot box. We must overwhelm the ballot box. That means not 65% or 70% of eligible black voter turnout. No, it needs to be 80, 85, 90, 95%. They must feel the wrath of black voters at the ballot box.
I agree. It's got to be too big to rig, ladies and gentlemen. But here's the problem. And I'm like Charles Barkley when it comes to pointing out the problems. We've got to have candidates that are going to be progressive. We have got to have candidates, regardless, we need to vote. So don't think I'm saying don't show up. If it's a Democrat, show up. But we also need to have these Democrats fired up for the candidates they're voting for. He mentioned how people turned out for Barack Obama, who by all means was more of a centrist than a progressive. But of course, white America painted him as a strong leftist when it was just the fact that he was black. We need people like Mamdani. We need to get rid of these AIPAC Shakur folks that are propped up by AIPAC and lobbies like that. We need to get rid of that shit. We need people who are going to get in here and who are going to say, when we get the power, we are going to not only prosecute Donald Trump and the administration, but their asses is going to jail for war crimes, Epstein files, for letting folks off like the Oath Keepers who tried to insurrect the capital of these United States, and then Donald Trump pardoned their asses. Did we forget about Doge? Have we forgotten about all the minority things that have been cut because of the... Take the Voting Rights Act, for example. The Supreme Court is wrong. I mean, it's just, it is what it is. They're wrong. And we need candidates that are going to stand up and say, we're prosecuting their asses. So ladies and gentlemen, post your comments below. Let me know if you watch any of these brothers on this mixtape. I'm calling it Mixtape Black Progressives Volume 1. There's going to be a Volume 2 with some other guys I follow. And ladies, there's going to be a Mixtape Volume 1 of the ladies. Post your comments. Let me know what you think. Now it's time, ladies and gentlemen, to get into what was going on this week. And we will start right here. This week in American history that happened to be my week of birth, Republicans disenfranchised black voters and Trump immigration officials tear gas children. Yes, we're living in those times, ladies and gentlemen. But that's not it. Look at what else happened. On May 3rd, Trump urged states, including ones where voting has already begun, to redraw their congressional maps ahead of the midterms. You know why he did that? Because so many people are upset with him ramming through this agenda from Project 2025, or whatever the fuck you want to call it, that Kamala warned us about. He knows retribution is coming, and he's trying to stop it. You want to see what else happened this week? This right here. May 4th, Trump renews efforts to investigate 2020 election. I'm laughing because, folks, I want to cry. What the fuck are we doing? Wasting all this money that we claim we don't have? That's another one of the bananas in the tailpipes Republicans have pulled the wool over our eyes, pretending like we are so cash-strapped with this deficit. But every single time a Republican gets in there, they blow a 3 times the size of Democrat hole in the deficit by going to war to fund their buddies, conjuring up shit that we don't need to be doing, and this is no different. What are we investigating? Even Republican states and judges that you pick have said it was no hoax, there was nothing wrong, you're just making shit up. Fox News got a almost $1 billion lawsuit judgment against them with Dominion for trying to lie about the elections. It's a done deal. You're just trying to cater to those white folks who are self-hating so much that they will burn a house down with niggers in it and die with them because they hate themselves just that much. But that's not what else that is more, folks. May 7th, my day of birth, separated more families, pepper spray and tear gassing children. This is America that we're living in. Folks, this is an America that people voted for Trump because they did not want to see the black woman. This is America, all right? Last but not least, folks, we got this right here. May 8th, Virginia's new congressional map was struck down by Virginia Supreme Court. Now, here's the irony of that. They voted for that in Virginia, ladies and gentlemen. The one they did in Texas, they didn't vote for that shit. They just gerrymandered it, executive order by the governor. Louisiana, same thing. Alabama trying to do the same thing. Who else is trying to do this stupid shit? I think Mississippi, all the Confederate states is trying to do it. But the place where they took it to the people and voted for it overwhelmingly, crooked judges struck it down. Folks, that is circumventing democracy. Simple and plain. It doesn't get any worse than that. So that's why I say we have got to have people that are going to get power for Democrats that are going to prosecute and throw these folks in fucking jail. Because the laws that are already on the books, the Constitution that is on the books, these people are determined not to follow it, and they think that they can continue to get away with it. So if Democrats really want to inspire people, we need to be saying what we're going to fucking do, who we are going to go throw in jail. It's not enough to say prosecute. It's not enough to say investigate. We're tired of hearing that shit. We need to say, we need names. Who are you going to throw in jail that has been going against the Constitution? And any judge that voted against what the people just voted for in the Commonwealth of Virginia, your ass need to be in jail. Post your comments. Let me know what you think. Now let's get into the first video on my list, folks. And this first video, it deals with Tennessee, ladies and gentlemen. Just the racism that went on in Tennessee. Shout out to the Justins. It's 2 of them, Pearson, and I forgot the other one's name, that made news this week for trying to stand up in the face of tyranny, stand up in the face of racism. And we'll take it right there to what was going down in Tennessee. But before we get that, folks, again, the sponsor on this video is me. I trade stocks every day for a living. Name of my channel, Win by Losing in Stocks. Link is in the description. If you want to get a one-on-one with me to see how I do my system, that's the link, Calendly. Let's take a look at what was going on in Tennessee this week, and then we'll talk about what we can do, folks.
What is wrong with you? What is wrong with you? Ted. stupid mother.
That was the big homie Justin Pearson, folks. And you got to understand why he's frustrated. In a lot of these places where they're going back redistricting, the maps and things were already set for this coming election. But because of the corrupt Supreme Court, the most racist, most corrupt Supreme Court in the history of this nation, are allowing these fuckers to get away with this shit. To understand why he's so doubly upset, outside of the fact that there's not going to be representation for these black people. They was taking away a seat he was running in and was about to win. The same way they did Jasmine Crockett in Texas. Take a listen at this, folks.
So earlier today, the Tennessee legislature approved a new congressional map that will wipe out the state's only majority-minority district in an attempt to eliminate the state's one Democratic House seat. And I want to highlight this guy, Justin Pearson, who is a Tennessee state representative, but who is also running for U.S. House in this district, District 9, that just got redrawn today. And what's crazy about this new map is that this man's national political career may be ended before it ever even gets started because of this power grab by these white supremacist legislators. And I know we don't have any real power in a situation like this, but we can make his name known because he's on the ground fighting for justice, fighting against poverty, fighting for the people. So please share this video because we cannot let them get away with this without a fight.
It makes me so mad, people, because I've always told folks that this country has these preset narratives that they put in place, that the people who put the narratives in place, white racist men, do not believe it. They put the shit in place to try to keep the regular folks at bay. These people that are doing this in Tennessee, it ain't just about racism. Racism is a part of it. It is also about power and money and elitism. And they want to sit at the top of the hill because at the end of the day, those folks that are doing this, do y'all think they really care about middle class and poor white people? No. The only thing they care about is keeping them happy with their own personal insecurities of self-hate and hating black people. And that keeps them at bay. That keeps those brand of poor, dump trash, hang off the mountains with 2 teeth that need to go get cleaned by the dentist. It keeps those group of people happy. It's setting them back, but it keeps them happy. And at the same time, it's allowing those white people that are putting these rules in place and the rich folks to just continue to separate themselves with crony-ass capitalism and the money that goes on in this country. Who did we say were the most educated group of people in America that happen to also be the most resilient group of people in America? Black women. What does the statistics say? The more educated a nation is, not just America, the more educated the whole nation is, the more prosperous the entire nation is. That's not just an America thing, folks. That's the world. That's the world. And our most educated group of people tried to tell y'all what the fuck was going to happen. And what did we do? We said, no, we can't listen to these black women because one of them is running for office. One of them is running for office. And so we've got to shun everybody. These black women is telling us with their vote and their education what the fuck could happen to this country. And we're not going to listen to them. So now, folks, you black dudes, I call y'all D-knowledge Negroes, the Tyreses, the Stephen A. Smiths, the Killer Mikes, the Lamar Jacksons, Dr. Glaude, who I love, by the way, but he said he wouldn't vote for Hillary. I call y'all D-knowledge niggas, dumb knowledge niggers. Because y'all want to sound so fucking smart and enlightened, you don't realize you're dumb. And that has led to this shit right here, the repealing of voting rights. Not to mention, we've led to taking back rights for women to choose, but your incontinence, and I'm not talking about wearing a diaper and it depends like Trump, shitting on himself, peeing on himself incontinence. I'm talking about your verbal incontinence has led us to this shit. Instead of just coming out and saying, you know what, I don't like Kamala for whatever, but she still got my vote. Instead of saying that, you had to go in there and say stupid shit like, well, What are the black people doing for me? I mean, what is the Democratic Party doing for me? Shit, they ain't doing this. They're not taking your rights away. They ain't out here sending you, telling you now your kids have got to sign up and go and register for the army. They're not doing that shit. It just blows my mind. And so a lot of those type of people, those de-knowledge niggas, I might do a mixtape on them, folks. Let me know in the comments if you want me to do a mixtape on de-knowledge black dudes. They're backpedaling because they seen how stark this shit is. This was never a TV show, folks. This was never comedy. It has always bothered me that this country wants you to play nice with people who vote against the interest of putting food on your plate. Because what have we seen with white America? For them, they would rather have hate than food on their damn plate. That's what they'd rather have. They think they can eat hate and not food on the plate. And these de-knowledge dudes, black dudes, have helped lead to that shit. So post your comments, man. Let me know what you think. What can we do to help Tennessee? Number one, everybody who's disenfranchised, we've got to try to uplift them. We've got to turn out for the midterms. And anybody who's left in these states that are progressive, that are Democrats, we've got to make sure we're helping them fight the good fight from outside their state. Because look at what California did to try to help the nation. Look at what Virginia did to try to help the nation. Where you had these states trying to cheat the House seats, you had California taking legislation to the people, and the people coming out overwhelmingly saying, no, Trump, no, no more. And now you've got crooked ass judges whapping the shit down. So post your comments, let me know what you think. Next thing we're going to cover, folks, is another great content creator who shares the views I've been sharing about Trump lying about all these assassinations. And we just recently had the last assassination attempt, ladies and gentlemen, where I don't even believe this one was real. I'm sorry, not sorry. I don't believe the first one was real, and I don't believe this one is real because this is the WWE president. There's a content creator called I Am Politics Girl. Her name is Lee McCowan, something like that. She did a great long video, and I'm going to play you guys a snippet of why she doesn't believe that this one was real either. Now, first and foremost, I know Trump has learned a lot from WWE about how to fake blood, how to pretend like his ass is beat up. And every time Trump has an assassination attempt, they never get his ass up out of there with any expedience. And in this situation, when the assassination attempt happened, he is literally, they rush him off the stage. He's standing behind the stage looking and shit. What president who's afraid for their life stands behind the stage and looks? And before we go see Lee, I'm going to show you something D.L. Hughley said that resonates. This is from his show Uncertain. It resonates because this is just prime behavior of the Republican Party. Prime. Take a listen to DL before we get to Lee.
You know how many fake assassinated attempts Jim Jones had? So he would fake these assassination attempts that kind of drew his followers closer to him because they felt like our leader's under attack. Is it more conspiratorial to believe that a cult would fake assassination attempts, or that an 80-year-old dude who shits on himself and forgets things is a liar?
Honestly, people, it's both. It is definitely both. But before we dive into it, let's get the meat and potatoes of why it looks like a conspiracy. This is the homegirl, I Am Politics Girl. She's seen on CNN often. She breaks shit down, and she has a large presence on TikTok. Take a look at what she had to say.
I'm not a conspiracy theorist, so I would like to talk a little bit about the people who are responding to this White House Correspondents' Dinner event by saying, hey, don't be a conspiracy theorist. Don't fall into their trap. Don't go down a rabbit hole. And some of those people are my friends, and they're people that I respect. But I just want to say personally, I am past that. To me, we have tried taking the high road. And to me, those days are over. The entire White House Correspondents' Dinner was weird, beginning to end. As someone smarter than me said, look, I'm no security expert, but even I know if there is a real attempt to kill the president, you take the vice president to a separate and secure location. That never happened. That is obvious. And it never happened. Even if you take these people at their word that this was a real threat, you still had Donald Trump, J.D. Vance, Marco Rubio, Pete Hegseth, Mike Johnson, Kash Patel, and almost every member of the cabinet in the same room at the same time during an active war, and someone was still able to get in the building with a gun? The Secret Service is either completely incompetent or totally complicit. Then they move from the hotel to the White House and they put the entire line of succession in the same room again. And there they are, laughing, joking, smirking, having this press conference about their desperate need for a ballroom. So no, I'm over this. This was not a real assassination attempt.
It wasn't. Like, anybody who, let's just break this down to where people who have never been in politics or anything, let's break it down to your level. When your life is under threat, when, I don't know, let's just say somebody broke into the liquor store with a gun and you were the cashier and they leave and you call the police. Are you ready to have a press conference talking about how you need to go raise money for your kids' Levi jeans? Or let's just say you're somebody who decided to go to the zoo. And let's just say Bubbles, the baboon, Michael Jackson's baboon, escapes his encampment and chases your ass. Now, you know they can climb fucking trees now. But you managed to get away. Are you holding a press conference talking about how you want to raise money because you need a new car? Fuck no, man. No. You're not doing none of this shit. You're not. And what's so bad about this is this administration is so incompetent, but so blatant because they know their followers will believe anything because they've got them so deep in the name of Jesus Christ that they can't see the forest for the trees or understand critical thinking. Hell, they think the word critical is a bad word. No, folks, this was not real. And every time Republicans get in power and they know that their policies are not great for the majority of the people, and they know that their policies tends to lose a lot of the educated people, they start resorting to these preposterous, put upon us narratives in society by white racist men, like we must love the military. If Republican men love the military so fucking much, the way they claim they love children that are unborn so fucking much, why do they not take care of the children when they're born? Why do they not take care of these veterans when their asses come home fucked up if you love them so much? I'll wait. Because you never fucking loved them. You love paying the rich people that's got contracts with the military. You don't love them. You love them because these are the people who are risking their lives to protect you sitting up on that fucking hill and living in the White House. That's what you love them for. But would you go lay down your life, fat ass life, which depends for them? No, you wouldn't. Post your comments, folks. Let me know what you think. Go check her out too. She's good. Last thing we're going to cover today, ladies and gentlemen, is a man who put his foot in his mouth. All the toes is popping out. I'm talking about Stephen A. No Smith. And it pains me to talk about him because, man, back when I first found the show with him and Skip Bayless, by the way, Skip Bayless was on First Take this past Friday. I watched it, folks. I got sucked in. It was a great show, even though I'm not supporting Stephen A. Smith right now. I supported those two together because I wanted to see it. And I hear the reason why they brought Skip back because the ratings on that show is tanking. But I digress. Do y'all remember one time Stephen A. Smith said that Mark Kelly, Senator Mark Kelly, retired Special Forces Mark Kelly, astronaut Mark Kelly, and that's where I come in because everybody who knows me knows I'm a space case. They know I love science, I love space, I love physics, I love understanding the gravity of how big space is and how we'll never find aliens. Aliens won't find us because light years is a thing. We can't overcome the physics of space. We don't have the technology, and we probably never will. But anyway, he attacked this man because Mark Kelly said, if you're in the military, do not do anything that is in lawful order. You would think Stephen A. Smith thought Mark Kelly talked to him and said something bad about his child. The way he came out so angry, so vehemently mad at Mark Kelly. Well, ladies and gentlemen, the dust has settled, and I got a couple of videos to show y'all. But before we get into those videos, again, the sponsor on my video is me. I trade stocks on my channel every single day from 9:30 till about 11 on my channel, Win by Losing in Stocks. You get to see an accurate assessment of where I'm at, my wins, my losses, my mistakes, my profitability scale. And if you like the way I trade stocks and you want to get a one-on-one with me, here's the link for me at calendly.com/Lamont Tyson. Come check me out. We'll do a video chat. I'll show you my system. You can follow me every day. You'll know what are the best stocks to take a look at based on the way I trade, and we'll wrap it up. So the courts have come back and said that Mark Kelly was completely right. Servicemen do not have to follow unlawful orders that the Constitution don't merit, no matter who the hell tells them. Here's the video.
A major legal development to tell you about today in that standoff between 6 Democratic lawmakers, all of them veterans of the U.S. military or of national security agencies, who simply warned the men and women of the military of their obligation to ignore any illegal orders. Oral arguments took place over Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth's decision to censure one of those 6, Senator Mark Kelly, a move that would have stripped Kelly of rank and pay. Kelly won a preliminary injunction in court and Hegseth appealed. But today, before a 3-judge panel, arguments did not appear to go Team Trump's way. Senator Kelly, flanked by veterans and his family, including his wife, former Congresswoman Gabby Giffords, had this to say.
They're trying to send a message to other retired veterans and really to all of us. If you say something that the president or this administration does not like, they're going to come after you. The president is trying to silence us. And I can't think of anything that's more un-American. Just like these folks behind me, I signed up to serve our country and protect our freedoms, including the freedom of speech. Most of us joined to be part of something bigger than ourselves, to protect and serve the country we love. I know Donald Trump doesn't understand that. And he doesn't understand us. This administration has bullied and coerced the press, private companies, and universities. The list goes on. But in this case, the president and the Secretary of Defense picked the wrong guy. Because when it comes to our most fundamental rights, I will not back down.
Damn straight you ain't gonna back down. Appreciate you for that. Now, folks, I talk about men's men and how Republican men pretend to be men's men, but they got to take steroids. They got to try to put policies in place so that women can't choose them. Women have to be forced to do shit that they want them to do. Here's a man, Senator Kelly, that has done more help to this country and service to this country in his pinky toe than Hegseth has ever done in his whole life. The only service Hegseth has done is get up and fix his damn hair. That's it. That's the only service we've ever gotten out of his punk ass. And you have the audacity to want to take down Senator Kelly. But this portion of my video is not about Hegseth. We can get to him another day. It is about people that should be apologizing. So the main provocateur in the black community that was trying to chastise Senator Kelly way back in the day, when all of us on this list, folks, my mixtape of black progressives you should be following. Oh, put me on the list too, by the way. The all knowing, all loving, all feeling, all seeing, all just damn everything sexy as hell me. Put me on that list too. But Stephen A. Smith, if you forgot what he said, let me refresh your memory and let you know that his ass has not come out and apologized for it. Here we go on The View.
I'd love to give you the opportunity to perhaps change your position on what you said.
I'm not changing a thing.
Okay.
I didn't stutter when I said it.
You want to stay loud and wrong?
Well, you could call it loud and wrong all you want to. You're entitled to your opinion. I'm entitled to mine. As it pertains to Mark Kelly, what I was talking about is military. What I did was get on the phone with family and friends who have served in the military. And I said, we're not civilians. This is not the court of law. You can be implicated for implying something if you are a former military member or you are a present military member. It wasn't what Mark Kelly said. It's the fact that he was a combat Navy pilot who served in the military, who would tell folks, ignore an order when it could get them in the world.
This nigga, Lord have mercy. The whole game with Stephen A. Smith, ladies and gentlemen, outside of grifting, is he loves to do word salad shit. Okay? He figured out a long time ago that Anglo-Saxons, especially racist ones, they love a nigga that know big words. They love a dude who can say all these big words and make it sound pretty. You remember what they were saying when Barack Obama was doing speeches? I heard progressive men say, oh, he's so articulate, as if our asses can't speak. But secretly, they love to hear it. It makes them feel like this is an intelligent dude who's not the type that's going to be threatening to me. And they love having those type of black dudes on their side. And Stephen A. Smith has realized and has figured out, I can make a lot of money doing this shit. And so, as she said, Sonny, you were loud and wrong. He was loud and wrong then. Here it is 3 fucking months later, and you see judgments is going in the way of Mark Kelly. Senator Mark Kelly. Ex-astronaut Mark Kelly. Has Stephen A. Smith came out and apologized to this moment? Today is May 9th. Nope. Will he? No. Because what did I just teach y'all about strong, progressive black men? We apologize when we're wrong for shit. And what did I just teach y'all about Trump MAGA men? They will never apologize. So we'll see if Stephen A. Smith is MAGA male or if he's progressive male. Post your comments, folks, down below and let me know what you think. On my show, I do take super chats, and when you have super chat questions or anything like that, that's what I respond to. But for today, folks, that is all my time. I am going to get up out of here. Please don't forget to like the video, comment, subscribe. Please share me, ladies and gentlemen. I am on a growth movement. The whole purpose of this channel, outside of social justice, is to debunk myths that have been put in place by mighty whitey racial white dudes to try to keep you at bay, to try to keep you dumb so that they can manipulate things and get away with murder, feel like they're special, and have the upper hand. I'm here to debunk all that shit. I'm here to level the playing field so that we all have a shot at life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness with as least amount of barriers as possible. And until that next Sex is Hell video, I'm out.
I'm up early for the dealers come out. Everybody is outside till the killers come out. You ain't eating, you just act full. I'm impactful. Dozen funerals in a month. I got that pull. I will give it to niggas in all rap forms. Ignatius out right now on all platforms.